Yeah, good one. Every day is good. This is kind of a special day.
All right, so just what's the process been like of settling into this role heading into the bowl game?
It's been fun, man. It's been a good time. The rest of the coach, having the rest of the coaches here obviously helps. You know what I mean? And that's what's great about it. And we're a tight knit group, anyways. We're still doing the same stuff we're doing, so it's kind of been kind of the same, I guess, for lack of better words, and a couple little more script a little bit more, go out in the field a little more, do some more of that stuff. But I mean, it's been easy in that stuff in a good way because of the coaches we have, the guys we have, and because of Coach Leipold.
Who are some of the guys that, I know you guys have practiced 4 times, but who have been some of the guys that have caught your attention now that you're in a broader role?
No, it's just, I guess, that's a good question. No one extra, for lack of better words, has it caught that. The way we kind of coach and the way we kind of do practice-wise kind of helps us get a chance to see the way we watch tape, kind of see everybody anyways. That's tough. But I guess it's just, because the way we do things, we still kind of concentrate. You have to see the whole thing, obviously. But you're still concentrating on the dudes who coach and position. So obviously my eyes still gravitate. You see it all. Your guys gravitate towards the quarterbacks and naturally making sure they're doing the right thing because they kind of need to do the right thing to get the playoff. But I've been really happy with excited about the way the guys have approached it, have accepted change, and just kind of kept on trucking. It shows how strong the culture is. Guys just got, okay. And it's not necessarily next man up. It's like, here we go. And then Coach Grimes came. The guys were all excited. I told him, I said, unbelievable guy, terrific coach. I go, and he came in. They're like, what's up, Coach Grimes? And let's go and move on. So that's what's been. It made it easy, and the kids are really just transition and move on.
For you, what's it been like calling plays, getting ready to call plays for the first time in a while?
It's been, I guess. It's so funny because you're within the practice realm. Like the only thing you're doing is you're scripting more. Like Andy did a great job with all the stuff you're doing, and because we all script kind of together, and so on. And then so that part of it is actually obviously more work, right? I guess is weird. The script part, all the stuff that Andy had done, and so on, did a great job with it. So I guess that part of it is just doing more of that, and the overall game plan is of the overall game plan. But we're all still working together. We still take each. We have kept the same format. We had done before and how we game plan. So it's kind of step by step and take care of this part of the game, and take care of this part of the game, and have feedback. And Andy was great about that, letting us have feedback and vice versa. So same way. The good thing about game 13, you are who you are in a good way. That's exciting. The team is we love who we are. We love where we're going, and so now you can just keep on trucking.
What have your impressions been of the UNLV defense?
They play hard. And that's probably as good a compliment you give to a defense. They're physical and they play hard. You're on tape. Regardless of if things go right or wrong, they're playing hard. They're running around, and they can cause some. They do a good job, pressuring and running around and making you have to make sure you're communicating correctly. They do enough stuff schematically up front and in the secondary that you have to be on the right page. Your 11 dudes better be on the right page, or you can have some issues. So I think that's what's really been, but it's jumped out. The linebacker, all the guys are good players, obviously. Linebackers run around really well. They're really well. They can go side to side and pressure, and what they do, we mess around with 3-man fronts and 4-man fronts. And the difference is in the coverage schematics in the back. Make it a challenge, and it's good because it puts your kids on their toes. We got to make sure we know what we're doing, and we're communicating together. Communication is one of the biggest keys. Making sure we communicate, like it always is. But that's what's been great, to be able to lock in and say, hey, they're a good defense, and we gotta make sure we're all on the same page.
How much is it reminiscent of what Arkansas did last year? Because that was where Coach Odom was before he.
Yeah, there's some similarities, and so on like that, where they're versatile, multiple in what they do. But it's a new group of guys. It's not. I don't think he was calling necessarily before or whatnot. It's kind of the same schematics, I guess. But so it's good to just watch the similarity in terms of what they do multiple wise, but obviously called differently and so on. So it's not. So I guess that's the biggest thing. Those kids played hard too, So that's one of the things for sure you can take from that.
For you, during the hiring process, Jeff just talked about talking to a lot of the staff members over the phone just during the interview process. What were your conversations like with him, if you did talk to him, and what's it been like?
It was more of a that's a really good question. It was more of I had known him through, not me knowing him, but knew about him through other people, through other coaches. People had reached out and said, they heard things, rumblings, everybody hears stuff in this profession, so you know how it goes. Just like in your profession, you always hear this, and I got that does happen. He's a great guy, great guy. Besides, his resume speaks for itself in terms of where he's been and what he's done. But in terms of type of person, so a lot of times you get on the phone, you just want to talk to a guy, and Lance is like, just talk to him, because the coach is always great about saying, coach wants to make sure it's a fit. Not so much a schematical fit, obviously that's key, but a fit in terms of, does he sit in the room, can he fit with the guys that are in the room? Sometimes it's just like, people sometimes look at different things. One of the most important things is, does it fit? Does he fit, or does the person fit into whatever room you're talking about? So I look at more of that part, personality-wise, and talk to about, and I was more of a selling job. Honest to goodness, when we talked to Coach Grimes, say any questions you have, let me know. But I was more of a selling job by me to be like, hey, we'd love to have you. And he knew he had a relationship with Jonathan Wallace a little bit through coaching, and he knew Lance knew him through other people. And I think Coach K had talked with him. I think Coach K had a relationship with Coach Grimes as well, and I always had heard great things about him. So so I was more of a sell job, honestly, for me. Just what questions do you have, and talk about his family, talk about our families, that kind of stuff, and talk about how one of the greatest things I personally believe about Lawrence and Coach at KU is it's one of the few places where I think all the coaches live in the same city. And it has that, I call it Division III feel, and that's not, that's just how a lot of times the smaller cities, people live in the same city. That high school, everyone kind of, kids go to the same, that's what's great about that. It's a true city where it's like, it's just, I don't know, it's a great place to raise families. I told it's a great place, you'll come in and the people are terrific. They've been great to us. Win nor lose, they've been awesome. The people and neighbors, so selling that part, selling the city. Obviously the school sells itself, sell the football program where it's going, and tell him that I think he would be a great fit. So I guess honestly it was more of a sell job, and then getting to know him, I loved just talking to him. Like, that's a great. Lance asked me, I said that's a really good person. Lance knows the X and O part. That's not Coach Grimes is awesome X and O's. That was just, does he fit? And I said, Coach, he'd be a great fit.
How big are these practices for the young guys you have on offense?
Huge. We joked around. I thought about this when Lance took over Whitewater and hired me. We had played. I had talked to this. We kept some of the coaches that kept some of the staff. And he looked back in the 2 years previous, they had made the national championship game, which is 5 extra weeks in Division III. So those 2 teams before we made it had gone 10 extra weeks practice. Think about that. So it's almost a whole season. So in that world, so we look back, so we go 3 years in a row. Well, you're thinking these kids at Whitewater are playing 5 extra weeks. How much better? And you're playing. Yeah, of course they're going to be scout team or work team guy, but like they're hearing, they're in the meetings, and that's what I think is so critical. It's so fun from last year to this year, and in the offense and defense. I'm sure Coach Borland will say the same thing. The kids just it becomes natural. All the people look at all the stuff we do, all the stuff that Coach K had was doing at the moment. Like they can just pick it up now. It's just, oh, just do this. Oh, yeah, we can just do this, or and that's the biggest part about it is for those kids to be able to do more and to keep building off that thing, so you can jump into spring ball humming. That's what Coach K stressed last year is when we got done. We took the Arkansas experience, and when spring ball came, it wasn't like, hey, let's run this basic play. It was like, we're gonna do what we do right off the bat, and the kids could do it. So that's a testament to them, for sure. That is awesome to be able to do that and have those kids be around us and us be around them for so many more days. And you think you do this all the time, you're getting 10 to 15 more practices. When you're not, you're 15 practices behind every other team. So that's why it's so fun now to catch up. Be like, hey, now we're going there. You think about the teams that made playoffs or bowl games all those years in a row. Well, heck, they got those kids. By the time they graduate, have 60 more practices or whatever than we do. So that's fun to be catching up. It's critical, ultra critical.
What was it like to find out that your son won the award?
I cry. I'm a crier and that kind of stuff. It's like, so I'm probably gonna cry again, so I apologize. But it's just seeing him, and it's like, what a kid's been through. You go through it, you watch that thing, and you're like, Southern Illinois had a chance to, like, you talk to Nick Hill at Southern, those guys, and he's like, hey, he could be starting, but they had a Nick Baker who was really good. And Zach loves Nick Baker, and there's 2, so by the time Nick decided to take his last year, Zach's like, well, I graduated, I might want to go somewhere else just to get a chance, not have to sit, and I knew he could play, and we all knew he could play. Everybody did. Sometimes you just need a chance, an opportunity in terms of sometimes an injury, sometimes whatever. And so I know how many kids sit around for 3+ years or whatever and love Southern Illinois and play a little bit, but don't stay anything, graduate and move on to a place. Know nobody. It happens to be an hour and a half away from us, which is crazy. That's just crazy itself. The team is 4-7, and you go in there and you watch that thing, and I just like, holy mackerel, like he made numbers, and it's a team game. We don't know that receiver. Coach Lambo, great, but watching him and then relate to Coach Bay, the offensive coordinator, Coach Hawk, quarterback coach, and this just all worked, and watching him elevate the team, he always elevates his teammates. That's what makes me like. It's not the records and all the stuff he did. It's like how he plays and the energy he can actually show it. So I think about this 4 years, like, let's go, like, here it goes. I said, when opportunity knocks, don't knock the door down, kick it down, like run through that door and destroy it. And he went, I'm like, now I laugh going, oh, you did that. When you throw a 61 touchdown, then you're doing something right. And the kids are doing that, but it's a team game. But so it did make me so proud of a kid who in this day and age, of what's going on in college and all this craziness, of a kid who's there and then decides to stay. I'm most proud of the culture they've created, because just like here, we've been knocking wood, a lot of good things happen with our kids and staying around, and hopefully it continues on. And culture does matter. And then you watch a kid like that, and he buys, and I'm going to stay. Because we all know what could happen with those numbers. It's kind of, and I'm like, and it's so awesome. He's having a blast. And you realize that there's really great talent at all different levels of college football. And watching him do that was just amazing. And then more or less because of what he's been through, and never crying, never moaning or groaning, just keep on trucking. So that's what made me, most proud. Sorry about that. I'm still going to start. But that's the part people talk about the right. It's not that. It's that. And so on and so forth. And then the thing that was craziest was, you tell how tight we are as a KU football family when Lance and Jimmy Lee get that situation, said put on the big screen out there, so the award announcement, and then tons of kids came over, and we're all family. Like, they care about us as coaches and our families, and we care about them. That was just, I couldn't be there because Zach wouldn't let me go to see us. Know that he wouldn't let me. Like, he's like, no, you're coaching, you got to stay. Like, because the ceremonies in Division II is actually January 12th. That's when the actual, they have a big banquet. So I was like, no, I don't want you to go. He didn't want Mom to go because he doesn't like this kind of stuff. He hates all this. He's like, Mom, why are you going? Dad, you got to practice. You're staying. I'm like, okay. And then Jimmy Lee and Lance are like, don't worry, we'll take care of it. And they did that. And that just shows what kind of guy Lance is. You like working for people who care about your family. Like, he cares about it. And he's so happy. And he gave me a hug. And he's like, he knows, because he's kind of grown up. Zach's kind of grew up with Lance. And what Zach has done is because of Jerry Kill and Lance Leipold and being around those kind of people. So sorry, long drawn out story. So you're making me all sob.
Yeah. With Coach Grimes, I know you've been on the field.
Yeah.
Have you guys talked yet about who would be in the booth?
Yeah, it's funny, no, but I think what people said, you guys help me out, you might know more. I think he's been more of an on-field guy.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, and he wants to, and he does it, that's awesome. I go up in the box. My biggest, I always say, the thing I think I do best is I'm versatile. I can adjust. I'm an adjuster. So whatever he wants to do, and he decides whatever makes him most comfortable, I'll do whatever he wants. It doesn't. I've done it both. It's fun to be on the field just because you can feel the atmosphere, like me, because I'm a high five, let's go type guy. But it's up in the box is awesome too, because you can see everything. Like when you're on the field, you can't see the other side of the field. I don't care what anybody says. You're not. I have no idea. I can't see what Lawrence Arnold's doing on the other side of the field. If I'm on my side, you got an idea. That's what the box is for. So like, whatever he needs me to do, whatever he decide, I'm all in. So that's an easy adjustment, and I'm good. I want him to. What I want is for him to be as comfortable as he can be. Whatever that does, I'm all in.